Number 10. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Jeffrey Duncan Jones is best known by his audience for his unusual, unlimited humorous nature. Jones, who has had many years' experience acting various roles in both films and television, it was his role in Ferris Bueller's Day Off that shocked his audience. In this 1986 film, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Jones plays the role of Edward Rooney, a high school principal obsessed with catching an ever-eluding truant student named Ferris Bueller. Although wearing a suit for the first time, he did forget his audience, and at various scenes, he would show his cartoon-like faces. Ferris Bueller had Principal Rooney going crazy, unable to fathom how a student would refuse to attend school because his sister got a car for her birthday, and he got a computer. Principal Rooney was always on the chase, but Coyote Bueller was just too fast for him. However, there were many editing mistakes hidden in the movie that most people didn't realize. The main editing mistake can be seen when Principal Rooney ran across the schoolyard to catch the school bus for a basketball match. Approaching the bus, you could clearly see there was no sidewalk. The next frame in the movie, however, shows the bus driving off and a huge sidewalk. I guess they quickly constructed a sidewalk in about 1 second, after the principal boarded the bus. Number 9. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. This American comedy features two main characters, Bill and Ted, who are your typical high school slackers with zero respect for authority. They are given a history homework assignment to describe how 3 historical leaders would have seen San Dimas, California in the 1980s. These boys thought it would be easier to build the time machine, go back in time, and actually interview the leaders for themselves, instead of visiting the library and, doing their research like everyone else. So, they designed and built a time machine in the shape of a telephone booth. Deemed as the school's metalheads, these boys wanted to impress their history professor so they could get a good grade for their final history oral project, and of course to pass the class. Should they fail, Ted's father, a police captain, plans to send Ted to a military school in Alaska, ending Bill and Ted's dreams of forming their music band, Wild Stallions, thus altering their future plans. During their adventure through time, the boys got their answers, but in the rush of reaching school on time to hand in their report, they accidentally brought Napoleon with them. With history already messed up, this gave the boys an idea to kidnap other historical figures and bring them to the present. But during a scene in history class, the name of the great Mongol Empire leader Genghis Khan on the chalkboard is spelled correctly as Genghis-Khan, but later miraculously changed to Genghis-Khan. I wonder how that happened so fast. Number 8. Stifler. Sean William Scott, also known as Stifler, born October 3rd, 1976, is an American actor, comedian, and producer. Best known for his role as Steve Stifler in the American Pie series, he has also appeared in a range of genres, including the horror film Final Destination, the road comedy film Road Trip, and the stoner comedy film Dude, Where's My Car? His love for acting started while working at a local movie theater, and because he could watch and see all of his favorite movies for free anytime he wanted, he decided why not make his own movies. Stifler was first discovered at a talent competition in Los Angeles. There, he had blown Hollywood scouts away with his natural comedian nature. He was approached after the competition and was almost immediately flown to New York by ABC to audition for a part in the film All My Children. Stifler immediately captured media land, appearing in a Sunny Delight commercial, showing off his basketball skills, and later on an American Express campaign with Magic Johnson. But some say Stifler was more than an actor, he was also a magician. Take for example in American Pie, while talking to a girl at poolside, she can be seen holding a translucent beer cup that suddenly changes to a blue cup. Was this Stifler just practicing his magic for his audience, or a huge editing mistake? You decide. Number 7. The Amazing Spiderman. I bet you didn't know that this popular superhero film had many huge editing mistakes, but I guess because since everything happened so fast, you just didn't notice them. Spider-Man undoubtedly has been one of the longest running comic book characters. This feature tells the story of Peter Parker, a teenager from New York, who becomes Spider-Man after being bitten by a genetically altered spider. Parker must stop Dr. Kirk Connors, as a mutated lizard, from spreading a mutation serum to the city's human population. The film received praise from many critics to movie lovers due to its new designs such as artificial web shooters, using the Red Epic camera for photographic technology, enhanced visual styles, and musical sounds. This movie blew up after Sony Pictures Entertainment built a promotional website, releasing many previews and launched a huge marketing campaign. The film was a box office success, grossing over $800 million worldwide, becoming the 7th highest grossing film of 2012. But how can a film that made so much money have so many editing mistakes? A typical editing mistake can be seen during a scene on the Metropolitan train. where a black guy is shown by the camera from behind wearing a dark brown head tam and attacks Peter Parker with a skateboard. The camera then changes to a front view and the guy now appears white and with a light brown head tam. If you looked even closer, you would have noticed that he also changed his shirt and backpack. Number 6. Hot Fuzz. This next editing error is in Hot Fuzz, a bitingly sarcastic and entertaining film. It involves a top London cop, Constable Nicholas Angel, who is so good at his job, he makes his fellow officers look like slackers and cowards. But he's promoted to serve in the sleepy village of Sandford in this contemporary action comedy. As Angel does his best to adjust to his new post, his new partner Danny Butterman strives to gain the respect of his fellow constables also, while sustaining himself on fantasies of his favorite action films and police shows. During a routine patrol of the countryside, Danny Butterman's police abilities are put to the test. During a car chase, a swan enters the car and attacks Butterman, and he loses control of the cop car. The climactic conclusion of this attack sees Butterman bursting through a picket fence of a ranch and crashing into a tree. But did you see that editing mistake? Well, right before he burst through the fence there was no tree, and in a matter of seconds the field sprouted a tall pine tree for him to collide into. But wait, there's more. The fence he just destroyed is now repaired. Well, that'll definitely save some hard work fixing the fence. Number 5. Man of Steel. The title Man of Steel tells you that you're in for a huge surprise right from the beginning. But with a title like this means Superman can't be far. And you are right. The absence of the word Superman would definitely make this 2013 dark, convoluted, and violent thriller pointless. With police cars all around, scenes of 9/11 styled images of collapsing skyscrapers and dust-choked disaster survivors cheating death, all made this an unforgettable feature in movie land, a classic. Defending a planet so scared of apocalyptic conspiracy, it was assumed that anyone who presented themselves as a good guy must have ulterior motives. Man of Steel was the full action-packed movie that gave viewers something special and more. The visuals were just spectacular, but its action scenes took it home. The action was just relentless, as some people even thought it was better than The Avengers. The movie gave everyone something, even though it had few moments of humor. I am sure the battle between Superman and Zod wowed everyone. But did you see the editing error in this film? As Zod begins the process of terraforming Earth, a bus marked 6370 is blown to pieces, littering the city. Well, 15 minutes later, the same bus can be seen from an overview scene as Superman flies over, completely intact and undamaged. Number 4. X-Men 3: The Last Stand. Most people would agree with me that the X-Men series is much like fine wine. It just keeps getting better and better with age. In X-Men 3, outlaw mutants come face to face with Earth's mightiest heroes. With characters conveying extreme hostile emotions, this dynamic and bizarre feature was jam-packed with action, but this did not stop film directors from squeezing in a few scenes of humor along the way. This trilogy officially tells the tale of a newly discovered mutant cure, and the polarizing effect it has on mutant/man relations. With the pressure on mutants to give up their powers and pledge their allegiance with the human race reaching a critical turning point, Professor Charles Xavier urges tolerance and understanding as his nemesis Magneto gathers a powerful resistance and preparation for the ultimate war against humankind. Magneto, a mutant leader and founder of the Brotherhood of Mutants, has the ability to manipulate magnetic force fields and magnetic flight. He is regarded as one of the most infamous mutants, having a stand against humans due to him being a part of the Holocaust, and how humans are known to hate mutants. Magneto is also a founding member of the X-Men with Professor X, having been good friends. But Magneto has something else up his sleeves. Unlike Professor X, Magneto's belief isn't to equal life with humans, but instead to rise above them. During his death in the movie, it may have seemed he did not like the way he was going to die. In a scene before he falls to the ground, the needles piercing his chest can be seen in his neck. However, on the ground, the needles are rearranged to be piercing his heart. Number 3. Die Another Day. The name 007 is very iconic in TV land to James Bond, and most viewers will tell you that immediately into this James Bond movie, Die Another Day, they unconsciously accepted Pierce Brosnan as Bond, without even thinking about Sean Connery, Roger Moore, or anybody else. Die Another Day is the 20th Bond film in 40 years, not counting Casino Royale. Midway through it, Bond's boss M tells him, "While you were away, the world changed." referring to the months he spent imprisoned at the hands of North Korean torturers. This movie has the usual impossible stunts as Bond surfs down the face of a glacier being melted by a laser beam from space, but it has just as many scenes which are lean and tough enough to fit in any modern action movie. It also has a heroine who benefits from 40 years of progress in the way we view women in movies. Her name is Halle Berry, emerging from the water at the beach wearing a bikini and in slow motion, just flaunting her long smooth hair. She is very famous for her naughty double entendres, for example. Bond says, "My friends call me James Bond," and she replies, "Well, that's a mouthful." But in Die Another Day, her character was not only for simply decoration or love, but as a competent and deadly agent who knows how to fight. A huge editing mistake shows that during a sword fight, Halle is slashed across her stomach. However, during celebratory sex with James Bond, there is absolutely no sign of any wound on her body. If this was not an editing error, then maybe a combination of Mystique and Wolverine slipped in from the last fact. Number 2. The Joker. The Joker is a supervillain and the arch nemesis of Batman. He was first introduced in 1940, and since then, he has been a consistently popular character. Without the Joker and Batman, the movie would just not be the same. He is a professional master criminal with a clown-like appearance, always hiding his true identity. Initially portrayed as a violent sociopath, he kills people for his own amusement, but over the years his characteristics eventually change to a goofy trickster thief, who is there to make Batman's life a living hell. The Joker has been responsible for numerous tragedies and mishaps in the life of Batman, including the paralysis of Barbara Gordon, Batgirl Oracle, and the murder of Jason Todd, the second Robin. Not only the Joker is trying to be a trickster, but also the film directors of the movie. Take for example a scene where the Joker and his gang are raiding and destroying the Gotham Flugelheim Museum, or should I say, improving the artwork. While one goon is seen planting red handprints on a painting, a few seconds later the same painting can be seen untouched in the background as the Joker prepares to smash a statue. Number 1. The Godfather. From Gay Talese's book Honor Thy Father, we know that being a professional mobster isn't all it's cracked up to be. This book might have been what exactly fueled The Godfather, which brushes aside the flashy glamour of the traditional gangster picture and gives us what's left: fierce tribal loyalties, deadly little neighborhood quarrels in Brooklyn, and a form of vengeance to match everyone and anyone. Santino Sonny Corleone is a fictional character in this 1969 novel, and also in its 1972 film adaptation. Sonny is the oldest son of New York Mafia Don Vito Corleone and Carmela Corleone, and is depicted as the most impulsive and violent of their 4 children. He is always involved heavily in his father's crime family. At age 16, Sonny committed his first robbery. Little by little, his love for crime grew, and by the end of World War II, he was his father's underboss and heir apparent. Respected and feared as a ruthless killer with an explosive temper. As the eldest child, Sonny was a protector to his younger siblings and his family. The novel showed he was unable to harm women, children, or basically anyone who's unable to defend themselves. But unfortunately for him, other mobsters did not share the same opinion. In a catastrophic scene from The Godfather, Sonny is assassinated brutally. His car can be seen riddled with bullet holes, his windshield shattered, and his lifeless body on the ground. But wait, I said windshield shattered. An editing error showed a few moments later after the shootout ended, the windshield of his car is still intact.